It's the industry where money talks in tens and even hundreds of millions of pounds. The industry that's refused to be grounded under the weight of cancelled Whitehall orders and American competition. It's a world of giants involving air forces and airlines in the sort of spending that makes even millionaires boggle. And it has a glamour and excitement all of its own. For Prince Philip, a call on the men who are trying to keep Britain in the big league of the world's plane makers. Their export target, £200 million a year. It may be an industry for giants, but there's still room for newcomers. These Islanders are made by a small Isle of Wight firm. Short-haul machines that can be used as air ambulances or for survey work, and seating up to 9 passengers. The Islanders, just one of 24 types of British aircraft, now flying or being made the Baron View at Farnborough Air Show. From this all-purpose light transport, the Skyvan, with orders from 5 airlines. And this short to medium-range 62-seater, the 748, a direct descendant in a line of planes coming from the first of Britain's plane makers, AV Rowe. To this latest bestseller, the BAC 111, a 550-mile-an-hour short-haul jet airliner, the world's first and already the greatest dollar earner ever to come from Britain's plane makers. And now, the plane that soared among the bestsellers with more than 110 ordered, many for the United States and Canada, the HS-125. Built to jet businessmen around the world, it cruises at 500 miles an hour, seats 8 passengers, and has a range of more than 1,800 miles. It's easily converted into a navigational trainer. This Franco-German plane, the Transall troop carrier, has Rolls-Royce engines built under license on the continent. The Lightning, Britain's supersonic fighter, with a performance that's mainly on the secret list. It's in squadron service with the Royal Air Force and has netted the biggest ever single export order from Saudi Arabia, £70 million worth. Another high-speed fighter in quantity production for the Royal Air Force, Hawker Siddeley's P1127. In level flight, just another modern warplane. It's at takeoff and landing that the P1127 shows her special qualities. Her powerful Pegasus engine has nozzles that swivel back in level flight, forward for braking in flight, and down for lift. It all means that the pilot is the envy of every city motorist, able to pick a tight parking spot this way. As the big jets progressively make the world smaller, so the aero engine makers of Britain have come on their busiest times. Of Rolls-Royce's 50,000 workpeople, nearly 40,000 are on aero engines, and aviation sales account for close on 90% of the firm's profits. Here they are building an engine called the Tyne, which gives very high power in relation to its size, and powers airliners as well as military transports and patrol planes. It's just one of a series of engines from Britain that keep a whole generation of aircraft flying. Rolls and Bristol Siddeley, now merged into a vast combine employing over 80,000 people, have enough orders to keep them busy right into the 1970s. Here's a Conway, the most powerful jet engine in service with any airline, the engine that powers the VC-10. The Spey, a top seller used in 9 types of civil and military planes, including the 111, the Trident, and the Navy's Buccaneer. The new Phantom Spey, a supersonic Air Force version in production for the American strike fighters ordered for the Royal Navy and the RAF, is designed to push the Phantom fighter to well beyond twice the speed of sound. And now, on the test rig at Filton, the engine that's a whole power game in itself, the Olympus. It's the engine being developed by Bristol Siddeley, jointly with their French partners Snecma, to power the world's first supersonic airliner, the Anglo-French Concorde. Four of these Olympus jets, set in pairs under the wings, will push Concorde to a cruising speed of around 1,450 miles an hour. It's Europe's most hopeful answer yet to American domination of the air industry of the Western world. A dazzling introduction to closer cooperation between Europe's plane makers. Here too, at Filton, in the hangar built for the giant Brabazon of 2 decades ago, is the British end of the project. It's a £500 million stride into tomorrow, which each country on its own could never afford to make. Each country makes specific parts of Concorde, and each builds one prototype Concorde from parts made by both. This is prototype 2, due for its maiden flight from Filton in 1968, some months after prototype 1 takes to the air at Toulouse. There's no duplication of jigs, so the tail fins for both British and French Concordes are made here. And Concorde grows in a bilingual world where the French plane makers speak better English than the British speak French, but where technical standards are identical. Both British and French aluminium goes into the airframe, which must stand up to the high temperatures created when Concorde reaches her supersonic cruising speed. This mock-up is meant to give airline executives from all over the world an idea of what she'll be like inside. And if this were the real thing, her 140 passengers would soon be climbing up to 12 miles high on the way to Rio or New York in half the time it takes the fastest of today's jetliners. Yet, for all the progress Concorde stands for, it's no greater an advance than was made when Britain gave the world its first jet airliner, the Comet. Still in service, and perhaps even now, the most beautiful plane in the sky.